Hello, this is Mike, and today our special guest is the Fujifilm X-T1, a proud member of the Fujifilm X family, with the famous big brother being the X100. I am recording this in 2024. This camera was released in 2014, so 10 years ago. So it follows the same style as the other members of the X family with all the dials and this retro look like a film camera. I really like it because it's small and compact and light. So 10 years after its release, it's still very popular and sought after. So to pair with this camera, I purchased a 7Artisans 25mm 1.8 all manual lens, $80 on Amazon. Even though it's very affordable, this lens is a very good quality, I think. It's all metal, the rings are very smooth. It's a nice lens which will go nicely with the X-T1. Let's attach them together. Come on, Mike, stop fumbling. Here you go. Yes, this lens and this camera are a perfect match. The lens is very affordable in part because it's all manual focus, manual aperture selection, but the rings are so smooth, it's a pleasure to use them, so I'm not going to regret that. As the lens is manual focus, I set the autofocus selector to manual, and the other two settings are single autofocus and continuous autofocus. This video is not going to be a full review of the camera. There are plenty of videos out there from professional photographers who do a much better job than I do. I just want to show the design, the controls, how it looks, how it feels. So on the left is the ISO selection dial. It is locked. We need to press the button to change in the value and it snaps into place. The behavior of the speed selection dial is a bit different. We don't need to press the button to change any value except to go out of automatic mode. By the way, the dial on the right is the exposure compensation dial. Besides those three dials, there are two more selectors. Underneath the ISO selection is the shutter mode, which can be bracketing, continuous high, continuous low, single shot, multiple exposure, special filters, and the last one, panoramic. Now, underneath the speed selection dial is the metering mode selector, and the choices are the average for the whole image, smart metering, and spot metering. We find more buttons in the back to play and delete pictures, to lock the exposure, to lock the focus in autofocus mode. We have two command wheels, one in the back, one in the front. They are used to select various parameters depending on the mode we are in. There is one button in the front which can be programmed. In my case, I have put the white balance selection. So this is completely customizable. So here the white balance. On the right of the screen is the focus assist button, very useful for a manual lens. We have the quick setup, the menu, as well as the navigation pads. I'm not going to go into the menu. The quick setup is very important to change the main parameters of the camera very quickly without having to go deep in the menus. You just select something and use the control wheel to change the values. In this case, this is the dynamic range. Very useful. Look how small it is compared to my hands. It's very compact. Congratulations to Fujifilm and thank you for making such a wonderful camera. The controls are really well designed. It's beautiful. It is packed with features. I am not surprised that 10 years later it is still very popular. Look at it, it's so pretty. The sensor, by the way, is a 16 megapixel sensor. Not very high resolution in 2024, but it's very good quality sensor. That's why one of the reasons why many photographers still enjoy using their camera. Let's have a look at a few examples of pictures I took. All these pictures are JPEG, straight from the camera. I use the Velvia film simulation, and the picture quality is rather good. The lens is not the sharpest, but what can you ask for an $80 lens? This being said, on close-up, I really like this soft feel of those images. It is rather pleasant. The camera is doing really well in low light conditions, with hardly any noise in the dark areas. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the Fujifilm X-T1 with the 7Artisan lens. Take care, until next time, this is Mike signing off.